On this episode of Retro Car Guy 530, I'm going to be unboxing and reviewing the NOCO GENIUS10 battery charger and maintainer. It's able to supply up to 10 amps and charge various 6 and 12 volt battery types. And in addition to that, I'm going to install this optional product, the NOCO X-Connect, the GC002 eyelet terminal connector, so I can have a quick and easy way to connect the NOCO GENIUS10 to the battery in the rear of my 2014 Chevrolet Caprice PPV, the project vehicle on my channel. So let's get into it. "2020 has certainly been an interesting year, to say the least, and I hope you and your family are doing well as best you can given the current health situation. But the other thing I want to keep in mind is the fact that your car's battery might be suffering as well. Many of the vehicles aren't getting driven as much as they normally would, with people staying at home, or at least a reduced number of trips. And even when they are driven, a lot of times the trips are fairly short in length. So the battery in your vehicle is certainly potentially suffering as well. And I have a couple battery tenders here, but I didn't have ones that directly supported AGM, the absorbed glass mat type of battery, and I have two vehicles with that. And I want to make sure that I had a charger and maintainer that explicitly supported that. I ended up finding this NOCO GENIUS10, which I think I showed you the box in the intro there. So I'm actually, I've purchased two of these myself with my own money, so everything that I express in this video is my own opinion. I've not been sponsored or paid by anybody to talk about these. And I guess the short answer is I seem to love these particular battery tenders. They've done quite well, especially with the AGM batteries that I have. Like I said, I have two vehicles with those. My project vehicle on the channel, my 2014 Chevrolet Caprice PPV. So the main battery though is an AGM battery as well. And then our 2017 Kia Soul is also a vehicle with an AGM battery. So I want to make sure that the battery charger and maintainer that I purchased had an explicit mode for that. And the NOCO GENIUS10 has regular type batteries and AGM support, and even lithium, as well as 6 volt. And then there's a mode for powering just devices such as a tire inflator. So you can use it as a power supply, also as a temporary power supply for your vehicle while you're swapping out the battery so you don't lose settings. And then also there's a recovery mode and even a force mode where you can force the charger on when it can't detect a volt level above 1 volt in the battery. So a lot of other battery chargers and tenders won't even allow you to do that. So that's some of the nice features which I'll try to go over in the next section of the video here. And like I said, I purchased these a couple weeks ago and I've been using them the last couple weeks and they've worked out quite well. And I'm installing this the NOCO X-Connect optional product, the GC002, because in the rear of my 2014 Chevrolet Caprice, the battery is stuffed inside the trunk, and getting the side cover off and the clamps on isn't, I mean, it's possible, but I'd rather just have a quick connect method of connecting the GENIUS10 to make it a lot easier. And I'll show you that in a segment towards the end of the video. So let's go through the various status lights and everything, the unboxing, the status lights, the mode button, and then I'll show you the quick installation of that GC002 eyelet terminal connector at the end of the video. And I've already taken the shrink wrap off because it was reflecting quite a bit, so there's a good amount of shrink wrap. It's very tightly packed, so I've already taken that off. And then I'm going to push it out the side here. And then we bring the box back into view here. Of course, we have the NOCO GENIUS10, and the 10 is for the amount of amps that it can produce. It will charge 6 and 12 volt batteries up to 10 amps. And we have, looks like a protective cover over the cables on this end. Yes, that is true. And then it comes out of the box. We have a foam pad and another bay underneath with the cables. Let's pull that out. And then we have the cables for this, and also the default set of cables that comes with the unit. We have a clamp, or a way to mount it to a structure like in an RV or such, and that's what's in the box. So let's bring this all back into view here. The main unit is here. Of course, we have the output cable, which goes to a universal connector for their style cables, and the other end of this alligator clamp cable is the corresponding end of that, and that's going to fit in nicely with the accessory that I purchased for hardwiring into a vehicle. You take the caps off and you can then clip them together. That's how you attach that. And these alligator clips are quite sturdy. I've heard that these were improved from the previous version of this product, so I don't have the previous version, but these look to be of good quality. The cables that go to these are similar to the hardwiring cables. They actually have looks like an Allen bolt that goes through to connect them, and looks of good quality. And there is an inline fuse to protect the circuit in case, let's see if we can get this off here. And it has a 20 amp fuse that in case it does get blown, you can easily replace that. That's good. So that's the way it connects to the battery, and the default way, at least with the alligator clamps. We have a nice long run of wire. We have the AC cable here, and I already took the plastic piece off when I was looking at it a little bit earlier, but there's a cap over that. We have the instruction manual that comes with it in various languages. And then we have this mount that you can take it out. Looks like a Velcro based mount to go around the unit, and then you can use the included screws to mount it to a flat surface somewhere, be it in your garage or potentially in an RV or some other place that you want to mount the charger unit to. Now we have the basic unit here, and the cables come out to this end. They look like they're good weather protected here, sturdy so that they won't be bent or anything easily by moving it around. So that's good. On the bottom side we have some rubber feet in the corners to let it sit gently on a smooth surface. And then the main top portion here. In the standby mode, the GENIUS10 will not be outputting any power to the output cable, and it will go to the standby mode if it cannot detect the voltage level for the battery or it's not connected to something. So it will go to that power symbol LED and illuminate that with the amber color. The battery voltage too high error LED will illuminate when the GENIUS10 has detected a voltage that is higher than the selected charge mode. So make sure you check the connection to the battery and make sure you've selected the appropriate charge mode for that particular battery type. The next error LED is the battery with the X symbol next to it. It will illuminate solid red when the NOCO GENIUS10 has detected a potential short in the battery or it believes it won't hold a charge. Check the connections to the battery, and possibly you may need to replace this battery. And our last error LED is the reverse polarity LED. It will illuminate solid red when it believes that the cables have been connected to the wrong posts, like negative has been connected to the positive, so make sure you check the cable connections to the battery. If all three of the error LEDs that are identified on the screen are flashing, the charger internal temperature is too high, so it may be exposed to direct sunlight or something, to move it to a shaded area or a cooler environment to allow it to cool down. Or the ambient temperature where you're attempting to do the battery charge is extremely cold, so move it to a warmer environment. And once the temperature has been corrected, the unit should begin charging at that point. To select a charge or power mode for the NOCO GENIUS10, you must depress the mode button. It is a fairly stiff switch, so make sure you apply the appropriate amount of pressure with your finger. And you must either press it with a single click or a multi-second click to select the appropriate mode. First off, we have a 12-volt charging mode, which deals with the variety of battery types that are listed on the screen there, and this is commonly used for a lot of automotive type and marine type batteries available on the market. Next we have the 12-volt charging mode for the absorbent glass mat or AGM batteries. This is in fact one of the reasons I purchased this product as an explicit mode just for AGM batteries. So make sure you select this mode if you have a 12-volt AGM battery. And our next charge mode is for 12-volt charging of lithium ion and lithium iron phosphate batteries, but you only want to connect this to a battery that has a battery management system, so check the documentation of your lithium battery and the NOCO GENIUS10 documentation. And next we move on to 6-volt charging, which is similar to the 12-volt modes before, but you must press and hold the mode button for 3 seconds to move on to the 6-volt mode. So this is for the types of batteries that are listed on the screen right now. And then we move on to the 6-volt version of the AGM battery type. So make sure you press and hold the button for 3 seconds, and you may need to click it a single time to move on from the 6-volt mode to AGM mode for that type of battery. Our next power mode is for a 12-volt supply. It will actually supply 13.6 volts at up to 10 amps with 12 amp overage protection. So you can power a device like a tire inflator or use it as a temporary power supply to swap out the battery in your vehicle. And our last one with a dedicated LED is the 12-volt repair mode. You must press the mode button for 3 seconds with the cables connected to the battery, and will attempt to recover the battery in the states identified at the top of the screen. Next, let's talk about the charge level LEDs in the upper right-hand corner. We have the first one here, indicates 0 to 25% while it's flashing, while the second one is flashing is between 25 and 50%. This one is an orange LED, so that's between 50 and 75%. And then the one on the very end here, the square version of this, is when it's a blinking green, it is between 75 and 100%, and it will turn solid green when it does obtain 100% charge level. And then once it's gone into maintenance mode, it will slowly fade in and out as green to show that it's doing the optimization and maintenance of the battery at that point. By pressing the mode button for 5 seconds with the cables connected to a battery that the voltage can't be detected, it will enter into force mode, and you then select the actual mode that you wish for that type of battery. Then the mode LED and the charge LEDs will begin to alternate to indicate that it is in force mode. And then for a 5-minute period, which I'm showing you in a time lapse, it will alternate between those, showing that it's actually in force mode for that particular battery type. Then after 5 minutes, it will drop out of force mode and then drop into the regular charging mode for the battery type selected. So once you've got that, then you just, hopefully at that point, it's recovered the battery voltage enough to where it will begin charging it and successfully fully charging the battery. This is the optional accessory that I mentioned I purchased along with the NOCO GENIUS10s. I purchased 2 of those GENIUS10s and 2 of these optional accessories. I have 2 vehicles I would like to hardwire this into and make it a quick connect possible when I want to attach the GENIUS10 to the battery. And I purchased the GC002, which has a 1/4-inch eyelet hole, which should be sufficient for the battery post bolts that I'm using on my 2 vehicles. There it states the 1/4 inch. And then it talks about, and it shows you what's in the box. So I've already cut the seal here, and let's take a look at what's in the box. It's pretty straightforward, a simple cable assembly. The cap here would go on to protect the connector while not in use. You pull that off and you take the corresponding end from the GENIUS10, remove its cap. You should be able to simply press these together and you should hear it click. Let's see if we can put this up right here. And there's the click, so that shouldn't come apart. And then with that connected, and these are already pre-connected to your battery posts, you should be able to then, within seconds, get your NOCO GENIUS10 ready to charge and maintain the battery in the vehicle. It also comes with an inline fuse to protect the circuit as well. So this looks like a nice, easy, quick way of getting the NOCO GENIUS10 to get your battery charged and maintained. I'm showing you the installation of the NOCO X-Connect GC002, the eyelet terminal connector for my 2014 Chevrolet Caprice PPV, which has the battery in the trunk. This way I just have to open the trim panel there right next to the battery to simply reach in with the connector from the GENIUS10 and connect it to the GC002. I'm strapping it in and make sure it doesn't rattle around while I'm driving, and then I'll put the panel back in place so that you can see what it would normally look like in the trunk. And then I open that access panel and then I connect the GENIUS10 by simply taking off the default connector with the alligator clamps on it, and then I take the connector from the GENIUS10. So I press that tab or disconnect it from the alligator clamps, and then I simply click it into the GC002 connector and it's ready to go. Quick and easy, get it up and running and start charging and maintaining this particular battery. My hope is that this video has provided you the necessary information to make an informed decision on whether the NOCO GENIUS10 is the appropriate battery charger and maintainer for your purposes. Again, in summary, it does support 6 and 12 volt batteries. various battery types, including all the common ones, and in addition, AGM and lithium with battery management systems. It can act as a power supply to supply up to 10 amps to devices such as a tire inflator. It can also be used in that power supply mode to supply power through connecting it to the terminals you remove from the battery to keep the voltage level up while you're swapping out the battery so you don't lose settings in various modules or the radio in your vehicle. It will also attempt to recover batteries with very low charge level, trying to recondition them and bring them back to life, potentially saving you some money. And it also has built in that forced recovery mode where if the battery charge level is below 1 volt, it will actually begin the charge level, do a kickstart basically, and then switch over to the charging program after that. And many other battery maintainers or chargers won't do that. You have to kind of trick them by connecting another battery with the charge level before they'll start charging. So that's built right into this particular unit. So hopefully this is the battery charger maintainer for you. If it is, and you're considering purchasing one, please check out the description section of the video for affiliate links that I'll have down there to help you purchase that from Amazon. I am an Amazon affiliate, so I will make a commission on those purchases, but it is at no extra cost to you, and it's a great way to support the channel, again, at no extra cost to you. So I'll have an affiliate link again for the NOCO GENIUS10 battery charger and maintainer. And then I'll have an affiliate link down there for if I get it to focus here on it, the NOCO X-Connect, the GC002 eyelet terminal connector, which I showed you how I hardwired that into my 2014 Chevrolet Caprice PPV. So hopefully you found this video to be informational. If you did, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and make sure you hit that bell notification to be notified when I upload new videos like this one. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.